300. 1 billion 3 years. Country that
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Charlie Scully would say, morning, party people. Hello, everyone online. Welcome, welcome. Well, hey, thank you all for being here today. As you know, this is what we call game day. This is where we're excited to pour into you guys. Good morning, everybody. We're excited to pour into you guys, and especially with all the things going on and what we're talking about, the month of value. We're excited to pour into you a bunch today, as well as get a lot of feedback from you. So, you got the dinger?
I do.
All right, well, why don't you use the dinger?
The vision is to be the real estate company of choice for our agents and their customers. We feel by doing that, we will improve everything.
We just had a great lively discussion about that at ALC, about agents and their customers and what exactly that means. So we're looking forward to more conversation with you about that.
Our goal, return $1 million in profit share in the year 2030. Profit share is our culture.
Why is that?
Because we have a culture of helping each other, and by helping each other, we achieve profit. By achieving profit, we share that back. In the end, it is who we are. And by sharing what we do and who we are with people we care most about, we win the game. And those people we care most about can be anybody from our clients to our family to the people we do business with and around.
I like that. And a lot of us grew up watching Barney. Right? And sharing means care. Maybe not, I guess most of us haven't.
We're trying to forget that.
Trying to forget that.
No, that's a different demographic than many of us belong to.
That being said, play of the week, Taylor. Let's give it up for Taylor Fisher. So those of you who don't know Taylor was the MCA here for 9 years, then moved on to KWRI headquarters where he helped with a handful of different communities. And then with Olivia recently being named the North Central Grand Poobah, she and he came to an agreement where he is going to be the ROM, the Region's Operational Manager, and he will be downstairs with Olivia. So that's exciting to us. This just represents, again, first of all, why do we have a play of the week? So that we remember and acknowledge the quality of the people that we have here, as well as to help your sphere know how great you are from a third party's perspective. And in his case too, it just speaks volumes to all of the growth opportunity that exists just within this company. I've been with a couple other real estate companies, and it was either realtor, manager, or I don't know what, you go from there, right? So just grateful that there's this many opportunities. So if you know anyone for next week, this week, let me know, please. Go ahead.
We're looking for new players for the week.
New players for the week. Okay, Toddy?
Can't wait. Only a little more of this.
I was gonna pick any day now.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't wanna push that.
Okay, tomorrow is the KWPR Luau, and I know all of you are signed up and all of you are gonna be there. It's gonna be really fun. And the other thing that we're doing is raising $8,000 is our goal, which is a large goal, but we can do it. And so far we're at $550 and we have 2 days. So, ways that you can donate. You can write a check to KWPR or KW Cares. I would say the best and most efficient way that people have been doing it is just emailing Grace or I, and just saying, hey, can you add this much to my invoice next month? And we'll just have it paid out that way. Otherwise, you can take a screenshot of your donation that you did on KW Cares and send it to us, or you can write a check. So This is gonna be open until the morning of the 16th. There's going to be auction items at the luau. And they're gonna be really good auction items, like things that people actually want. And so it'll be good. So when you're there, make sure that you participate and it'll be great and all the money will go to KW Cares. Yeah.
If you have not, there are a lot of you, thank you, that actually have a donation per closing taken out
Yes.
and goes to KW Cares. Even if it's $1, I wanna get to a point where every one of us has that happening.
And if
And
you've
if it's
done.
$1, I'll double it.
It has to be 5.
What?
Oh, does it have to be 5 now?
$5?
Okay.
Okay, then I'm not doubling it.
Just make sure you.
Thank you for that.
If you have done that through your commissions in the last week or so, that can count. So let us know and we'll count that towards this. Okay, questions? Somebody looks at
Just
it.
the luau, is it outside, inside, where's the venue?
Oh,
What are
yes,
we
thank you.
doing?
It was originally going to be outside. We have moved it inside. It's still gonna be just as fun. It will be in here. I think there's a chance of rain.
Thursday,
Yes. Somebody else do that?
What happens if we hit our goal?
What happens if we hit our goal? Olivia's gonna pull dogs and a mini horse. Maybe. Yeah, she might ride it. Okay, a couple other things coming up. All of these awesome NAR settlement certifications. There's 2 more classes next week, one on Friday at 10 a.m. here, and then Saturday at 9 a.m. And don't forget, this is required, so please, if you haven't been to one, come. And we've had really great attendance, so good job.
Oh, I keep interjecting.
That's okay.
I do have to share. Some of you may have noticed I put a bunch of, I posted for a bunch of you for being certified, and then I stopped. Well, first of all, the algorithm got goofy, so I wanted to put a pause to it. However, then Melissa and I got a nice letter from NAR saying, hey, you gotta back off on that. So I went back and changed all of y'all's, so it has a stamp that doesn't talk about NAR whatsoever.
Just as settlement certified.
However, all your clients don't know a dang difference. They are all excited for you.
So yeah,
More
sorry,
involved.
it is not the NAR settlement certification, it is the settlement certification.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, sorry, didn't update that. And then broker boot camp next week is on Tuesday and Saturday at 10, with Melissa. Lastly, we have career night coming up on August 20th. So, Grace will be sending out the graphic and the, little posty thingy that you can do to advertise it on Facebook. If you wanna copy and paste that to your own Facebook, if you know anybody in your world that might be wanting to get involved in real estate, that would be a great thing for them to come to. Then next Wednesday, we have wealth building with Olivia and Colin, and then as a reminder, on August 29th, we do this every other month on the last Wednesday, our red carpet welcome. So any agents that have joined us between July 1st and August 1st, you'll get to walk down the red carpet, Cindy, and there's more of you too. And we'll get to welcome you officially to KW.
Let's just do it now, she knows.
And that's it for me,
That is it for me.
yeah.
We have a familiar face in the house, and of course, it's someone that we love and who has, thankfully, actually not thankfully since he's left, it just has left just really the small pool of handsome men in the office. Until one. But I'd like to reintroduce and introduce our guests today, Stephanie, Amanda, and Ronnie. Come on up.
You have anything more like Warren G or something? Hey, great to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces here. I mean, this place is like home, where I got licensed, where I got trained. There's positive energy here, Zen, you can feel it. So, I have my colleagues right here, Stephanie, and Amanda is going around. She's going to give out some flyers. But just wanted to take some time here and give you 10 reasons why you should partner with DR Horton. But before I do that, I want Stephanie to go ahead and introduce herself.
Thank you for having me. Ronnie let me go on, it was really nice. I know I'm gonna be the support person today, which is great. I'm Stephanie Scripseth. I work in Springview Meadows in Prior Lake. It's a traditional two-story D.R. Horton homes. We really are here just to try to talk about or let you know how much D.R. Horton loves realtors and wants to work with realtors, and we appreciate you. So I'll let Ronnie get started with the first 5.
Yep.
And,
So I work in Jordan. I have a community there of single-family homes, square feet about 1,500 to about 2,400 square feet. Most are slab on grade, but we have some that do have basements, lookouts, full basements, and walkouts as well. So number one reason you should partner with D.R. Horton is this: we have the inventory. We have over 25 communities in the Twin Cities. As we speak today, we have 32. So at D.R. Horton, we like to say we have a home for every stage of life. So if you have a buyer who wants a twin home, a townhome, a single family home, 1,800 square feet, or they want to go all out, single family homes up to 3,500, 4,000 square feet, gourmet kitchen, signature kitchen, all that stuff, we have it there. So we have the inventory. Is there a problem of inventory in this market? Yes, no, yes, no. We have the inventory. Okay, just remember that. Number 2, you avoid bidding wars. Once your buyer signs with us, signs a contract, and we start working on underwriting, that's it. The home is theirs. We're not entertaining any other offers. So what's the benefit to that? Peace of mind for your buyer and for yourself. Any questions? Are we good? Okay. Number 3, I remember back in the day, like many years ago in 2020, when I started, and a conversation even with Sarah right here. Having a VA buyer, there are those listing agents who think VA is a bad loan. That's not true. That is a solid loan. Or some listing agents, if you have a FHA buyer, they're like, For us, we love FHA and VA buyers. Again, just piggyback on number 2. Once they sign, that's it. The home is theirs. And we walk them through close. Number 4, we have special interest rates. We are America's largest home builder. We have the financial muscle to buy discount points. And right now in the month of August, 4.99 on a 30-year fixed. Now that I've disclosed this to you, you've had it, you have to disclose this to your buyers, okay? 4.99, 30-year fixed. That's number 4. Number 5, we love agents. We love agents. Some of you have been getting my emails. I've been calling some of you. When you guys lead gen, you are my prospects. That's how I lead gen, and that's why I'm here. So, Steph, you want to take number 6?
Yeah, just piggybacking on that, we love realtors, and I just found out about this, but I've heard that some realtors think that we as agents are able to like talk your client out of not using a realtor or taking your clients or anything like that. We can't do that, and we would never do that. We want to partner with you. You're a huge, important part of the process of getting the buyer through till closing, through the whole entire thing. So we highly value you, and we'll treat you really well. We'll make it easy. We'll make it fun. So just please know that D.R. Horton does love you.
Good. Something about that. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, a buyer walked in, looked at our homes. He was ready to buy. I got an email on his pre-call letter, and it CC'd was Jason Oliver. I was like, I asked the buyer, hey, are you working with a realtor? No. I was like, are you sure? Do you know Jason Oliver? Hey, Jason signed him, and that deal is going to HHG. That's how much we value realtors.
Yeah.
We do not cut realtors out of the deal.
Yeah, you make it easier for us. You have the buyers, so we absolutely value you. One thing that's really nice that D.R. Horton has is we have a home buyers club. So if you have a client that has a lower credit score, we have an operation in within our company that will help people raise their credit scores for free. They'll work with them, they'll stay with them. They have ideas that maybe you and your client hadn't thought of before. They keep it very positive, and they, make it an enjoyable process for your clients, and then they can move on to the next step of buying. Through DHI Mortgage and DHI Title, everybody gets up to $10,000 in closing costs. This is an incentive from DHI Mortgage and DHI Title, so you do have to use them in order to get the incentive, but that's a nice offering. One fun thing we do to help you realtors, existing realtors to feel more comfortable talking about new construction is we have construction training classes that we hold in our models. Our area construction manager, Ryan, in our case, will come in and give a presentation on the steps of building a new home, so you can speak to your clients comfortably about the process when you're talking to them about new construction, which is fun. And then last but not least, we have an online sales counselor, Amanda, who's fantastic. She's a real person. She likes to
Hi.
Amanda.
No AI, she's right
No
there.
AI, she likes to text if that's
Yeah.
easier. So here's Amanda, thank goodness for
Yeah.
Amanda.
So I'm the online sales agent, so I basically oversee all the communities and I know all the inventory. So my job is you reach out to me, you have a client in Prior Lake, you have a client looking in Jordan, and you want to know an answer right away. Give me a call and I can tell you all the homes we have available in both communities. So I have a bunch of monitors up, I have all the inventory, so I'm ready to answer your questions.
Yeah, awesome.
Any questions?
What's the least expensive home you can build? I've got a family that needs 4 bedrooms and they can go just about anywhere.
Right now, I have the most affordable homes of all Deer Horton communities.
Okay.
Right now, as we speak,
Uh-huh.
I have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, $394,990. With 4.99 interest plus $10,000 towards closing costs, and I'll give you a washer to dry.
Yeah. Amanda, close your ears.
Yes,
Caleb Williams or Justin Fields?
Caleb Williams. Woo, good question. Go Bears.
What do you ask?
Yes.
Do you ever build twin home type scenarios that are a little bit more affordable for people?
We have twin homes right now. I think only in Shakopee, right?
Yeah.
Shakopee and in Rogers.
In Rogers, yeah.
Grass Lake Preserve is the one in Rogers, and then Hy-Vee Park is the one in Shakopee.
And what do they start at?
They're around, I'd say mid 300s to 400s,
Okay.
depending on area.
Some do have basements.
They're beautiful.
They are. Oh, one thing, important thing we forgot, well, maybe they're supposed to ask us, but I'm just gonna say it, but with NAR, we've come to an agreement, or D.R. Horton has come to a conclusion.
Yeah, so just like you guys, and we're also learning from you guys, after August 17th, what's gonna happen? It's gonna maybe be like the Wild Wild West, we don't know, August 18th going forward. But as for us, we are going to honor those buyer agreements, and we're going to pay up to 2.5% of the purchase price. So again, we love realtors, we're not bumping you out of the deals,
No.
and that's what we're going to continue to do, so. Yep. All right, are we good? Any other questions?
Do you want to talk quickly about your new model?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
I'm getting models, yeah.
I have a new model house, it's opening August 29th, and I would like all of you to come, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I will be giving out $1,000 commission bonus. I'll just give you a voucher. If you close a deal with us, we'll put it in the deal. So hope to see you guys there. I'll have some refreshments, non-alcoholic for the time being. Yeah. So come and see the new model house. We'll talk some more. Any questions that you have. I think Jordan is growing. I live in Shakopee. When I moved to Shakopee in 2017, I moved from South Minneapolis. And my friends, when we were moving with a U-Haul, they were like, where are you going, Shakopee? Oh my good South. But Shakopee has grown so much that the next place where people can kind of afford is like Jordan. And so Jordan is growing. And so it's also good for just come out there. I know it's way south, but please come and check out the neighborhood. My neighborhood does have a swimming pool, kids playground, and a basketball court. It's called Bridal Creek. So every time I get a family coming into my model home, I always ask them, what can I tell my buyers about Bridal Creek? Number one, they say, we love the school district. Number two, it is safe. And then small town feel.
What are your utility fees
$650 a year
a year?
paid in January in advance. Yeah. Good question. Do you live in a HOA?
I do.
Okay.
It's $30 a year to go to the pool.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
So Ronnie was a great agent here with us, a great culture fit. Then he was online, saw DR Horton stuff and saw models and studs, and he thought it was a job description. All right. All right, here we go. Jason and I are gonna double team here this opportunity. So what we did last, again, this month is Value Month. And last week we talked about, first of all, what's your value, right? If you remember, we talked about Simon Sinek and the big why. Most people start with what they do, how they do it, and then if they get the opportunity, they talk about why. A why, for example, and we'll be doing more of this together to help you out. You start with your why. You know, when I was a kid, I loved helping my family do things that achieved big things in athletics because it just made us feel good and kept us from the things at home that were a struggle. So when I get to help my clients, I get that high again of like when I was a kid, and it just feels great. I love to help you. Now, you've opened up the how and the what, and that is what we're gonna discuss today.
And I think, you know, the conversation continues about value. And when we talk about value, sometimes we want to talk about great folks like DR Horton, who are providing the value of lunch this afternoon. So, and we invite our journalists, let's give them a hand for bringing lunch in. That's the value that when we start moving from why, which is how we connect with our clients on an emotional basis, we do also have to touch with them on a mechanical basis. And as the industry continues to change and you are going to have to negotiate as a buyer's agent for your commission, it would be really helpful for you to start taking some time to really truly think through not only what you present as value, but how you're going to present that. And a lot of what we're talking about here today is those mechanical parts, the parts that resonate with certain personality types. They go, oh, I get why I would need a realtor. And when you talk about buyer representation, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today specifically was the pain points that a lot of agents are kind of thinking about as they're thinking about what does this change in NAR mean for me? So what are the things I'm concerned about most as a buyer representative? First thing is having buyers sign representations. Anybody in here thought to themselves, man, I don't normally have to have people sign buyer's representation to go to a house. Haven't had to do that before. What do you mean I have to have buyer's representation to have them get an MLS set of houses sent to them? That's new for me. I don't like that, right? Another thing is just being comfortable with your own value. A lot of agents right now are asking, what are my values? I don't really know what my value is and how to present that. A third thing that people are concerned about, and I've gone around and asked agents, what are you guys concerned about? Third thing is calling on seller payouts. Just the idea of having to call to find out a payout is discomforting to some of our agents. Negotiating for your compensation with the seller is uncomfortable. It's nice to know they're gonna pay you 2.7. Now suddenly, I don't know what they're gonna pay me. Maybe they'll pay me nothing. What does that mean? How do I get over that? So we wanna talk a little bit about that. And finally, how to handle it when the seller says, we're not paying you. How are you gonna handle that? Because it's gonna come up sometime. And we wanna talk a little bit about those things. And those are the things that we're seeing as issues that agents are bringing to us as concerns about buyer representation. Jamie, any thoughts on that, or?
No, I think you set it up perfectly. I want you to go into this mindset just like you would your mindset when you go into when you go into a buyer's representation opportunity. To understand that Gary's new number yesterday was 89% of the deals nationwide up to this year have used a route. So more often than not, you are going to come up against people who are not the ones that the monsters we're putting in our heads. So let's go into this knowing that you know real estate, you know how this works, you know what to look for, and they don't. You need to have that swagger while you're looking, because there's probably some, like you discussed, there's probably some fear for some trepidation for others, however you want, excitement for others. We feel there's opportunity, so having that mindset today, try to set the fear part right here, and we're gonna get you where you need to go.
In the end, we know that most people prefer representation, as evidenced by 89%, but also let me ask you this. 40 years ago, people used to change their own oil. Most people don't now, they'd rather have a professional do it. Most people would rather have a professional, and you watch this as the generations have changed, do home repairs. They call somebody else. They don't try and fix their own stuff, they call somebody else. Why would that be any different with the most expensive transaction you're going to have likely in your lifetime? They want someone to represent them. Sure, are there gonna be people who wanna try it out on their own? Absolutely, I see all kinds of people like that. And then, before you know it, they're working on the dishwasher, the house is flooded, and the wife is saying, call the plumber. It should have been that way all along. And as each of you know, one of the hats you often have to wear is marriage counselor. I don't know if you've really thought that through, but that is a hat you wear on many of your transactions, and because of that, that doesn't change when the stakes increase. In fact, the stakes increase significantly when money is involved and a home is involved. So having a human is a super huge part of representation and why they want representation, and going into the situation knowing that, hey, we really want somebody to help us with this stuff is important. Being able to present why is the next important step. And we know that you must use a buyer representation agreement before working with a buyer. It's still very vague, but we have to have one before working with a buyer. The best way to explain it is just to explain it. Just explain the purpose. By signing this agreement, you're authorizing me to represent you and look out for your best interests throughout the home buying process. That's all it is. It's not a thing you're gonna pay me, it's not an agreement to give me money, it's not an opportunity for me to throw you down the damn road. It is literally just authorizing me to represent you and look out for your best interests throughout the process. That's what it authorizes me to do. I get to explain my responsibilities. With this tool, I have the opportunity to negotiate for you and get the best deal. I can't do that until you sign a representation agreement. Otherwise, that's not working. Your commitment. I'm committed to spending a significant amount of time and expertise to represent you as a real estate professional and help you achieve your dreams. That is my commitment to you. I am committed to doing this when you sign this. Wouldn't you want the best professionals representing you during a time of uncertainty? I mean, buying a house, there's so many questions, so many things that come out. Wouldn't you want a professional to represent you? Of course you would. And finally, explain
Real quick to that part real too, is what we had talked about yesterday was, of the 89%, there's gonna be, the 11% that didn't use a realtor. Some of those folks are going to go, gosh, I would consider doing this on my own, but everything has changed and I don't know what to do. So they're concerned about the change too. So they need you more than ever as well.
And finally, if at any point you feel dissatisfied with our arrangement, you have the option to terminate our agreement. We will part ways. I'm not gonna hold you to this. I'm not gonna make you hang out with me for the next 20 years as we look for a house and you keep going, I don't wanna buy that one because I don't like my realtor. That's crazy. Let's move on with our day. And depending on the situation, learning to use different representation agreements for different situations is gonna be important. Short-term, is it non-exclusive, is it exclusive? Understanding those options and presenting the best one to your client is gonna be a huge part of having them sign representation. But the bottom line is, you need to do it. It's that simple. You need to do it.
If I want to go and look at some homes myself for my own personal business, do I have to make a buyer's representation contract for me?
You're a real estate agent, so no.
So no, I can still go and view it.
Preview.
I can do that? Cool.
So, next thing we want to talk about is getting comfortable with your own value. If you've had the opportunity, and many of you have already had the opportunity to go to our settlement class, This is actually taken directly out of the settlement class paperwork. In fact, everything in this presentation is taken out of the settlement class paperwork, but presenting you the parts that you're gonna talk about a little bit more, rather than the forms, which is what we spend most of that time talking about. And so the first thing that we talk about being, as your value is transparency. As an agent, I'm going to explain how compensation is paid, who covers it, the buyer's options for payment, ensuring you understand the breakdown of fees. That's super important. I want to be transparent with you as a buyer so you understand what you're getting. That's one of the best things about working with me. I am fully transparent. If somebody isn't giving you all the information right away, why would you want to work with them? Contract preparation. We review the sales contract with you and include any necessary addenda to strengthen your offer. If you're representing yourself, what do you know about clauses? What do you know about protecting your buyer? What sort of options are on the table to talk to with the seller? You have no idea. And that's something that I do have quite a bit of experience with as an agent. Contingencies. We explain contract contingencies and include protective clauses in your offer to safeguard your interests. And I don't know what tin has to do with it. It's a nice metal, but not as good as bronze. So, but at any rate, contingencies. We know about contingencies. We get to talk about them. We get to educate folks. Jamie, any thoughts?
Not normally.
There you go. That's what I like. Identifying properties. I just throw up identifying properties because it's kind of funny because I think this is about the least valuable thing you do. They think it's about the most valuable thing you do, but in the reality, I mean, it's just a computer kind of figuring them out 99% of the time, and you're taking them out there. But we do match your budget with your needs, identify suitable properties within your range, and we do use our market knowledge to kind of help navigate certain sorts of discussions and where those properties might lie. Agent networking, and this is something that's really valuable. And one of the reasons why it's super important that you're familiar with KWPR-dashboard, so you can go and check the withhelds whenever you feel like it. But if you would find that on the KWPR-dashboard.com under withhelds, and you click on that, you can see all the withheld properties. But I can network with agents in my office, find properties not even on the MLS. Wouldn't that be cool to make an offer on a property and not have to compete with everybody else? I think it'd be pretty awesome. And you have that opportunity as an agent when you have a representation. Inspection review, we review your home inspection concerns with you, obtain bids and negotiate repair requests to ensure a win-win outcome. If I were on my own, unrepresented, I don't even know where I'd begin, but I know that each of you have had to deal with clients who thought it was a really good idea on the inspection request to ask for them to switch out the switch plate covers. Now, if I'm representing myself, and that's what I think an inspection report is for, how long is it before that deal goes south? Pretty quickly. So again, what is my job in representing my clients? And how is that different from them being unrepresented? Because that's what we're talking about, the what of what you do. Full financial review, we provide estimated out-of-pocket costs, a complete transaction, warranty, inspections, earnest money, appraisal, and closing costs. We do it all the time, we help them figure that out. Market analysis, we prepare CMAs in advance of making an offer. Determine the value, ensuring you make informed decisions and your offer is a reasonable offer, right? You can't just throw any money out there. We gotta make sure that you pay the right amount of money, not too much, not too little. That's a big part of what we do. And we review your closing statement to ensure accuracy of fees, warranty, repairs, closing costs, and any credits protecting you from unexpected costs. Yes, sometimes part of the stuff we do is part of what our team does. But our team is a big important part of our business, and you don't have that team because you're unrepresented. I have the team, right? And being able to understand their value and explain it is super important too. Jamie, any thoughts on comforting your value?
Just the fact that, if you haven't started with your why, can you see, Jason articulates this well and he's entertaining, can you see where we lose our clients? If they didn't know your why and didn't value you and understand your value. So when you go into the how and the what, they're right there with you.
I was just gonna add, when you went one back page, when you went to agent networking, I can't tell you how many deals have been put together with having good relationships with other agents in the marketplace. When they ask for feedback, give them good feedback. it comes back tenfold because I was thanked, one of the last offers that I got through was she was so thankful for the feedback I gave, none of the other agents gave any. And I'm guessing that might be part of the reason why we got our offer through. So, you know, you build those relationships with other agents and other companies as well.
Those of you who were here with Patrick Showers, he speaks to that as when he's at the open house. He goes, oh, how does this match your home, or what you're looking for, and oh, it doesn't have this and that. Okay, now you know what they want. So you know what, there's a lot of people out there looking for that precise house right now. Would it be to your advantage if you were able to partner up with a buyer's representative who has access to homes pre-listing that are just like the ones you just articulated? So there's a lot of value just in that one little.
So let me ask you this. Just went over 9 things. Which one of those was new to you? Not one, none of them? They were all old things that you were all familiar with? Here's the problem. Your clients aren't familiar with any of them. And if you're not articulating them to them, that's where the loss is. See, you have to earn the right to ask them for a commission. And part of earning that right is giving them a why. Why would you want to do business with me? Now that you understand why you want to do business with me, this is what I'm going to do for you, right? And that's why it's so important. Yes, these are everyday moments for you. These are all things you've known about forever, at least as long as you've had your license. They don't know that. All they know is what they hear, and what they hear is you're a commission shark looking for money. Not that you're out here safeguarding their stuff. You're building agent networks. You're out here reviewing their paperwork. They don't understand that until they've seen it. And they won't see it until they become your client. So being comfortable with your value is important. Calling on seller payouts, right? We know the first thing we ought to do is we've got to review MLS for upcoming instructions. In MLS, the seller has authorized listing broker to disclose their willingness to pay concessions. And look for that. That's a real thing we should see in agent remarks. Or if it's not there, maybe that's telling you something as well. The other thing we can see is seller is willing to pay concessions. Those are 2 sets of verbiage that you can put in agent remarks to let people know that you, as the listing agent, are willing to pay, but as the buyer's agent, that's a clear sign to you that there may be the opportunity to get that. Some brokerages have gone and made their properties known, or their intentions known up front, and they've published them, and they are very clear, so you don't have to chase anybody down in that case. They've made it clear. On the other side, you may have to call or text the listing agents. Just a very simple question. You have cooperating broker compensation agreement for your listing at this address. I'd text it, because anytime you text it, you're going to get a response. They're going to respond to you, and you have a record right there, right? Another simple question, your seller's offering compensation to cooperating brokers for your listing at the address. You don't have to call anybody. Texting is super likely be far easier for you. You can copy and paste, you can shoot it out, you can have a whole list of them back from the things, and it doesn't depend on you being able to get a hold of them when they're at the golf course or whatever construct we've had for all the things that we do in our real lives. And it's just more efficient. It's frankly more efficient. Call all you like, have fun, but I promise you texting will be more efficient. Finally, talking about negotiating for your compensation. It's not really that different than any other term in the contract. Some people are going to be fine with the closing date you've picked. Some people are not. Some people are going to be fine with the amount of earnest money you're offering. Some people are not. Some people are going to be fine with inspection or the price. Some people are not. This is merely a term in the contract. Yes, it's the super most important maybe term to you, but for the contract, it is merely a term. And if you attach more value to it than that, you're going to get wound up. This is just a term. And in many cases, it's going to be expected. You've already talked to your clients as a listing agent about they can expect this most times. So when they cut it across, it's not like it's gonna be a surprise, you're not sneaking something in there and asking for them to rebuild a house, you're asking for compensation, and they know, as agents themselves, that they're asking for compensation. Now, that doesn't mean it's gonna go one way or another, but it will often be expected, so you should have no fear in asking for it. It should be expected. And if they have offered broker compensation and it's not what you've agreed to, put it in there, put the terms in there, ask for the difference. There's nothing wrong with asking for the difference. It should be part of the negotiation, just like any other element.
Can I open it up to a question, these guys, real quick? So let's say you get a message back that says, or it doesn't indicate, or they're not indicating if they're giving a concession, but your clients love the house, what are you gonna do?
Write it in.
Write it in.
You're still gonna make the offer, you're still gonna write it in?
Unless your client wants to pay it themselves, take your direction from them.
Right?
They may wanna reduce the price and pay it themselves.
There's a million ways.
I mean, yeah, if to me, it's like, okay, I said I don't want big concessions, right? However, if all of a sudden I got my net in front of me, my net sheet, and some of the money is going toward their agent, and I'll get that net sheet, you know, and then I want it and more, I'm excited as a seller, so don't let that scare you into, not taking action, but have that conversation with your buyer beforehand of, say, they're not offering, however, not traditionally, but we can write it in. However, if they still do not want to do so, do you want me to proceed? Because if they accept an offer and they say, no, I'm not paying those now they owe you money, and that they don't have. So.
And that negotiation ultimately comes to handling no from the seller, which says, no, I'm not gonna pay. What would be the difference if they said, we're not gonna take it at that price?
Right.
What's the difference if the seller said, the price you offer me isn't sufficient? How would you react to that? You'd provide that information to your buyer, and you'd move on with your day. Either we need to up our offer, which in this case means you need to come up with compensation for me, or we move on and look at another house. Closing, it's just like any other term in the contract. And making it something other than that isn't really looking at it from a contractual standpoint, which is what we have to negotiate every time. The buyer has to make the decision on their responsibility to you and know and factor that into their cost considerations. You're merely presenting the information. I am a messenger of the market here. This is that price, this is what they're willing to pay, this is what we need to pay to make this happen.
When in doubt, go to Jordan and get an extra grand from Ryan. And check out the shoes, hey, lift up your foot, look at those things, they're going right over there. That's not your shoe, dude.
He's showing up a watch, watch is where it's at, he knows better about
Oh,
it.
he knows a lot.
What other concerns do you have right now about having buyers sign a representation agreement? Because every time we talk about this in an open setting, people go, really, are there any concerns about that? I mean, yeah, it's different.
Weren't we signing before?
Shouldn't you have been signing up before? Well, and again, there is that space where the undefined working with buyer is far more undefined than if I bring them to a house. Obviously, that's pretty straightforward, but what does working with a buyer mean? If you want information, I just need you to sign this thing because I can't send you specialized information without it. And it provides a wonderful opportunity to go back to all those people that are getting your MLS distributions right now and say, hey, let's talk about getting serious about this search. What would be the worst thing to happen? You get somebody out there, you stop sending them an email and you can send them for 25 years? I mean, that'd be a terrible thing, or not. You still have to do all the work that you've always done.
I forgot to ask this at the non-NAR certification that we went to. I'm seeing a lot of doomsday agent posts on social media that this particular scenario is happening. And I'm wondering if anyone else has had it happen or what's the big deal with it, where listing agents are asking buyers to send over a copy of their buyer's representation agreement, like as proof that they're getting paid. Like, was that part of the NAR, like, Did you guys cover that?
Sending somebody else your contract?
Yeah, like online, I'm on a lot of social media spots where like, the
They're not-
seller asked me, the listing agent asked me to send over proof of my buyer that I have representation, formal representation with my buyers. Why do they care? It's none of their business.
None of their business.
None of their
Right.
business. You don't have to share a contract.
I don't know what.
Your attorney share a contract with somebody else?
Yeah, I just didn't understand what the big deal was, what I was missing,
Yeah.
why they would ask for it.
Tell them
Last time
tell them
I-
your attorney says no.
So,
Last
what they
time I
say.
checked, fiduciary responsibility includes
Confidentiality.
Yeah.
hey, just to piggyback on that, so, what if you signed $5,000 buyer rep compensation, come to us. So again, I don't know on the listing side, we don't know how this is gonna work out. And so we are looking up to you guys to see how it's gonna work out. So you have a buyer, it's, $5,000 buyer rep compensation. But when you come to us, we are offering up to 2.5%. Now, here's the thing, you had signed $5,000, but we can pay you up to 2.5%. So again, we don't know, are we supposed to text you? That's what we don't know, those are gray areas.
To find
Because-
out
Well,
how
if
much.
they, yeah, the agent's gonna ask you what you pay, and then they
Yeah.
have to do some type of an amendment
So
With
that,
with their client.
I know, so do they go back to the parking lot and amend it and say 2.7 and come back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, we will make sure we get paid.
Yeah, no, we want to pay you, we want to pay
Whatever
you.
you're paying, I'll take it.
But just heads up, we're hearing ramblings, it's gonna get a bit ugly because some
Until
listing
it's-
agents don't want that. If you're getting paid 5,000 and I'm paying you 2.5 and you go back
Yeah,
to your car
The
and,
listing agent doesn't know
They
what
don't
you're
know
getting
that.
paid, because they don't get to see your contract.
right, so so you're
Well, if
saying,
you're offering it, then you're disclosing it out to everybody that you're paying this. That's a conversation that the buyer and the client have to have.
Right, so separately, you'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know
the
what they
buyer
do, if
agreed
they
to
amend it or
pay.
not. If they collect more than that, they could get in trouble.
And
but
this
that's
is why it's probably often a good idea to go to ALC meetings. Today, we talked about this from the seller side. How from the seller, Ronnie, how does Ronnie know how much you have on your buyer's contract? Is he just supposed to guess? If he guesses that it's gonna be 3%,
yeah,
and you're traditionally doing 1.5, you just gave D.R. Horton's money out to an agent who really doesn't deserve it because they're a little discount person.
tell you what, there are some scenarios, I'm just throwing this, I'm a messenger, so don't stone me. I'll just say, if you don't disclose, some listing agents will just put 0 right there. I'm just putting this out, I've just had this, so.
Well,
That's
if they
right.
don't have it in writing to give to me up front, then I would put it in the purchase agreement.
Right.
To protect
Put what
yourself.
figure?
I would put whatever I have on my buyer broker contract.
Or your contract's gonna.
Or if you have it in published form that you're paying this much to the agent, then they either have to amend it, so if you're paying out 3% and then they only have theirs for 2.7, we have to put 0.3 that the seller will pay an additional 0.3 to the buyer's agent.
And you'll find that running in lines 405 through 408.
So.
But they don't use our purchase
We
agreement.
don't use that.
Oh, yeah?
We
They
don't
got their
use
own,
that.
their own,
So, and
yeah.
that's why I'm intrigued by all this, this is really good stuff. Because we want to work with you guys, want to be on the same page, want
Yeah.
everything to go seamless,
Yeah.
that's, so.
Well, you have a copy of the thing, maybe you guys have to add that little clause in your purchase agreements too.
Yeah, so there's new paperwork coming up about, so.
Maybe put a pin in this and then show the options that we're talking about.
Wow, I can't make that bigger. We think it's super valuable, and we've talked on multiple occasions about having a menu. Tati, can you grab the keyboard and maybe see if there's a way you can make that bigger? Sure. We think it's super important you have menu of services both as a seller or as a listing agent and a buyer's agent. And I took some time yesterday to basically write one up. What would that look like if I was gonna offer multiple options to my buyers? And the first thing is facilitation, right? I want that on there. I want them to know that I can facilitate for them. And it's by merely putting on their contract preparation, and I put my fee in the percentage. Cool, if If I can write out 1 million facilitations, that's great, I don't care. They're super easy, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not good at this.
Okay.
I think that's what we got.
The premium section, and you can call these things anything you want. The premium section is literally those 9 things that I just went through before. Transparency, contract preparation, contingency, identifying properties, agent networking, inspection review and negotiation, full financial review, market analysis, offer review and negotiation, and closing statement. Those are the things I'm gonna do for you as an agent. And that's the difference between me facilitating and me working as your agent. That's a big difference. That's a lot of things that I'm gonna do for you. And if you don't choose to have me do that, these are all the things you're gonna have to do for yourself. And if you wanna do them for yourself, that's great, but understand that's what you're paying for, right? These are the things that you're literally paying for. The Elite package, I put in stuff that I thought was important, and I actually would like to open it up to you guys to talk about things that you would be willing to offer a buyer to get additional compensation from them, right? Because you're the one negotiating for your value. I can provide you things as an agent that you might not have ready access to, or scheduling these things, right? So you're moving in a new house, wouldn't it be cool if you moved into that new house and I contacted somebody to clean the house for you? That'd be a great fee for you. When you move in, you don't have to worry about cleaning the house. I'm gonna go ahead and spot that money for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of it. If you choose my premium package, right? I'll throw in a home warranty if you choose my home warranty, that package. I'm gonna give you a few options of things that you might choose depending on the situation, because you never know what's gonna be the best fit for them. Would it be cool for me to maybe pay somebody to come up and clean up the yard? Wouldn't that be awesome if you get one of those properties where the stuff is all over the place and maybe a little older couple and they don't want to deal with that? I'll pay for that for you. If you talk about it up front, you're winning the game because now you can charge extra instead of on the back end using it to help close the deal. So what are some things that you might be thinking about that you could add as premium items to your own menu?
First of all, let's talk about the psychology of this first, right? So this is, without even having to tell them, you're saying that this is what they're gonna have to do on their own. And then there's all this that they're gonna have to do on their, that you're gonna do. So you're already you're already speaking to how important it is to have a realtor. Also, what's the biggest problem with NAR's settlement is negotiation, transparency, being able to negotiate commissions. Well, you've got proof that you're willing to negotiate commissions. You gave them this form. Here's the different levels. And Colin just left, but talking to him and some other agents that I know across the Twin Cities, these numbers are actually going up for them. They're not going down. They know their value, especially now. And they're gonna get, I believe, as this goes, a pay raise. There's opportunity. And by the way, remember, asking questions. They may not want you to rattle off all these things. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what's most important to you? What is most important to you to have as a realtor? What are the aspects, the values? What is most important to you in your realtor? Some networking, pricing, whatever it might be. Oh, then you go into detail on those. You rattle off these, but go into detail on those. And just like we did in the old restaurant business, when you make your menu, you put one thing that's really expensive. So a lot of people will add a super expensive item here because it makes these numbers look smaller. That's being a little different, car salesy maybe. It works.
If you have concerns or ever have been concerned about what your value is, you're putting this on a piece of paper in front of somebody and giving them the option. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna pick the middle one or the better one for you every time. That's what they do. We're all trained to do that. For that person who really wants that, just the facilitation, you do that once for them and they're gonna come back their offer gets turned down, because it will. They're gonna be right back there. And they're gonna have the option to sign up for a better level of service. I think the opportunity to present this to somebody certainly changes the game for you, and it's not hard to make.
Well, many do it on the seller side already. They offer the different tiers. Some of them are changing. I'm seeing a lot of them going instead of, 6 to 6.5 to 7% on the listing side. They're actually just saying 3.3, 3.8, 4, and then saying whatever they offer to pay for the buyer side. So if you're already doing one of these, it's easy. If you're not doing one of these on the sell side, we absolutely believe you should. Again, you've got proof that you've negotiated. So if they were to ever say, oh, I hear something goofy, I heard about that NAR stuff and I just had a deal with I don't remember negotiating it. Well, this is in their file. You negotiated, you gave them options, they chose an option. Any thoughts about this? What's your biggest concerns about being a buyer's rep coming up here next week? Wow, listen to this. It's hard to get realtors to be quiet.
I don't see how anything changes.
No.
Right, we're just doing our job.
I just personally am a rule follower, and if I tell somebody that I have to have it signed, I feel better about that. There isn't any part of me, like I would feel bad if I was showing a friend a house before, and I would feel like I didn't want to lock them into a contract, but if it's something I have to do, I'm like, I have to do this.
Well, if you compare that, if you share that with a buyer, and they're like, oh, I really don't want to get into a contract with anybody right now. Then they go and talk to the next person who offers to just go show them the home without the contract. If you've articulated that contract appropriately and why you should be under contract, why you need to be under contract, they're gonna immediately know that the other agents not up to par.
They're not ethical. They're not following the rules.
Hey Jamie, I just wanted to comment on the whole NAR piece of it. So I was at SPAR training 3 weeks ago. And there was a lot of discussion about this coming up. And the anxiety that was in the room from the majority by far of the other new agents was incredible. Like they were like kind of losing their mind a little bit. So and I just know that the preparedness that's been happening throughout this since I've been here since April, it's there's just still questions in my mind, but I felt like light years ahead of where they were, and it's just a statement of.
Did you recruit them all?
Well, there's some talk.
Well, right, so the people that are wanting to go to that, maybe they're not getting fed that.
Yeah, that's
So they
the
naturally
point,
have
yeah.
that fear, and it's okay to have fear, but we can turn that into excitement, right?
So I guess I just want to point that out, that all this stepping with it ahead of time is, put us all on a better footing.
Yeah, well, thank Olivia for that shit, foresight to make sure we're doing this with you guys. So anytime you're seeing something out there, another thing too, if you're feeling inadequate at all about how to articulate these things, grab me and we'll just banter. Love to do that because you're less nervous at the plate if you've taken enough batting practice, right? The only thing is, when you take batting practice, the first thing the best hitters do is hit off of a tee. So the best realtors need to just take a step back and hit off a tee. Get to the basics, take a deep breath, move forward, go take market share. Call.
To Jason's point, I can't see who it was, I think it was Jason. Think about that concept. The competition doesn't understand how to deal with this. Everyone that is engaged and immersed themselves in it and that understands it, you should be able to walk into appointments both on the buy side and the sell side, articulate exactly what's going on, provide them the facts, give them your professional opinion as to what direction they should take based on those facts. And if you're articulating all of that correctly, you should be scoring way more business because the next babbling buffoon that comes in to present their ideas are going gonna look like fools compared to you. So just know that the majority, I shouldn't say the majority, a lot of agents out there have no background on what's going on here. They have no training, they just don't have an understanding. So how in the world can they compete against you if you're trained correctly? So that should be confidence inspiring to go win more business.
And there are many people, by the way, who have taken our settlement class more than once. You're more than welcome to. It's gonna keep changing. Things are gonna keep adjusting. One adjustment that we talked about at ALC this morning, there's gonna be some brokerages who are gonna be putting the payouts on their websites. So you'll be able to just click and go on there. Now, it sounds like a great service ad, like we've considered that kind of thing. So I'm gonna be transparent. We've considered, let's take all the agreed payouts and put them on there. However, we really believe we're opening ourselves and yourselves, ours collectively, to a lot of problems. Not only will maybe potentially other people find out that, there's different payouts in your sphere. However, again, someone from one part of the state who is usually doing 2.0 for buyer's rep comes up here and does a deal with one of us, and it's documented, it's 2.7, and now you're just giving up an extra 0.7, and it's documented on the brokerage's website. There's gonna be a lot of problems. Those are the things, I believe, one of the things attorneys are gonna be looking for. So I'm really surprised some of our local companies are gonna do that. They've already started it.
Well, and it can change. Sometimes you make a price adjustment, you change it with your seller, and does it get changed on the website,
Exactly, how do we keep up with it?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Right.
yeah, then there'll be more errors.
Awesome. Well, if Sarah's leaving, I think we all should leave. Hey, you don't get first in line, that's not fair. All right, again, text, call, any dialogue you wanna have, love to do that. We do believe that we've got a leg up, and it's not just because of what Olivia has done, however, just some of the great brain power, and what the ALC has also helped us all come up with from your perspective. So I think our team is on the right path, and we're excited to continue to develop with you. Jason, anything else?
Just go out and win. If you're confident in yourself, you're gonna win. And the only thing that you need to be confident in yourself is practice and understanding. And if you understand your value, you know why you're helping people, and you can communicate that consistently, you'll win. Because that's what confidence is. Confidence isn't being able to, it's going forward when you're scared. That's what it really is. And look, change is scary. It's not a big deal. You've had plenty of changes in your life. You have plenty of changes ahead of you. Many, many more down the road. This is just a small change in how you're doing business today, but in 6 months, it will be in the rear view mirror and probably pretty laughable, I hope. But your confidence is what you sell when you're talking to your clients, and that's what's gonna win the day. So practice. Don't be afraid to say the words to your peers, your friends, your family, and go out and do it.
It was no different in 1992.
Yeah, you all remember that.
Everybody was scared to death to do a buyer broker contract. What's that? I've never heard of it before.
But real quick, just before we go get some awesome DR Horton food, confidence. It starts with the word con. It's a con game. Right now, you've convinced yourself of either having confidence or lacking conviction moving forward. You've talked yourself, I've talked myself into these things. So take a step back, rethink how you want to think moving forward, be the con artist, and paint the picture you want. Let's go eat. Thank you all. Love you. Any questions? Have Jason.
Hey, Mel.
I wondered what had happened.
Yeah. So, is that the price point?
I was wondering.
Bigger? How about a half?
No.
It's okay. All right, I'm hanging, I'm good.
You know what, my daughters work with this woman that lives in Minneapolis.